Released back in 2011, Skyrim is now over a decade old. Yet even with the rise of massive open-world games, cutting-edge graphics, and billion-dollar budgets, Skyrim still stands as one of the greatest open-world experiences ever created. Today, I want to break down why Skyrim continues to outshine many modern titles, and why its design choices make it timeless in ways newer games often fail to capture. One of Skyrim's greatest strengths is the freedom it gives the player. Unlike many modern open-world games that funnel you down a specific route, Skyrim constantly asks you, what do you want to do? Missions are optional. You're not forced into long cutscenes or scripted moments that lock you in place. If you want to ignore the main quest and just wander, you can. Compare that to many blockbuster titles today. Games that constantly hold your hand, set up invisible walls, or force you to watch a 15-minute cinematic before you can even move again. Skyrim respects your time. It trusts you to find your own fun instead of confining you to a single route. In Skyrim, progression feels personal. Your character's abilities aren't locked behind rigid classes. Instead, you can adopt whatever fighting style you want. Sword and shield, a staff, a bow, dual daggers, heavy axes, or even pure magic. And the best part? You can mix and match. Start as a stealth archer, then switch to a destructive mage halfway through. This flexibility isn't common. Modern RPGs often push you into fixed roles or skill trees that punish experimentation. In Skyrim, you're encouraged to adapt. Even the difficulty can be adjusted mid-playthrough, making it welcoming to newcomers but still challenging for veterans. Another defining strength is Skyrim's storytelling. Aside from the opening sequence, the game doesn't force you to sit through endless cutscenes. You don't have to put down the controller while the game spoon-feeds you exposition. Contrast this with games like Red Dead Redemption 2 or even some Ubisoft titles, where story moments can lock you out of actual gameplay for half an hour. Skyrim lets you play the story, not just watch it. It weaves narrative into exploration, letting you discover lore through books, NPC dialogue, or the environment itself, which feels far more immersive than a passive cinematic. Skyrim doesn't just give you a main storyline. It offers thousands of quests, radiant tasks, and side stories, enough to keep you busy for years. Compare this to some modern open worlds that release with a thin set of missions, and then try to pad the rest with repetitive fetch quests. In Skyrim, every city, every faction, and every random cave can hide a new adventure. You're not just grinding for content, you're stumbling onto unique, handcrafted stories everywhere you go. And here's where Skyrim pulls ahead of nearly every competitor: its community. While many modern studios rely on microtransactions, battle passes, and sequels that reset your progress, Skyrim thrives on fan creativity. Mods can overhaul the graphics to look next-gen, add new quests, introduce survival mechanics, or even create entirely new regions the size of full DLC expansions. No other game has maintained such an active, passionate modding scene for over a decade. Compare that to annualized releases like Assassin's Creed or live service games that shut down when profits dip. Skyrim has instead been kept alive by the players themselves. Under the hood, Skyrim's world is also unique. Unlike many games that load areas in chunks, Skyrim simulates the entire world at once, even if activity slows when you're not nearby. This means the world feels alive and persistent, not just a series of disconnected zones. Compare that to something like Cyberpunk 2077, where crossing into certain areas can trigger loading, or where NPCs don't truly exist outside of your direct line of sight. Skyrim, even with its age, makes the entire world feel continuous. From the very beginning, you decide not just what your character looks like, but also their race, backstory, and playstyle, and you're not locked into that forever. You can reinvent your character mid-journey, something most modern games restrict heavily. In contrast, games like Horizon or The Witcher lock you into a specific protagonist. Skyrim, however, hands you the reins to create your hero, not the one the developers pre-wrote. Freedom is Skyrim's heartbeat. You can pick up thousands of items, sell them, display them in your home, or use them to craft. You can kill nearly any NPC, even breaking quests, and yet the game finds ways to reroute objectives so the story continues. Other games might punish you with a fail state for going off script. Skyrim embraces the chaos. It allows true emergent gameplay, where your choices ripple through the world in unpredictable ways. That kind of freedom is rare, even in 2025. The music, the landscapes, the shifting weather, and the way the game balances danger with serenity. Few games capture the feeling of just existing in a world the way Skyrim does. Modern titles often look prettier on paper, but how many of them make you want to just stand still, listen to the soundtrack, and watch the sunset over a mountain peak? Finally, the combat. Skyrim isn't just hack and slash, it's strategy-driven. Do you go in stealthy? Do you prepare spells ahead of time? Do you lure enemies into traps? Combat rewards planning, experimentation, and creativity, not just button mashing. Compare that to some action-focused games where fights devolve into repetitive combos or quick-time events. Skyrim keeps every encounter engaging because it's as much about your choices as your reflexes. So, why does Skyrim still matter in 2025? It's not the graphics, it's not the bugs, it's the philosophy. Skyrim was designed around freedom, player agency, and community-driven longevity. In an era where many games are built to be consumed and forgotten, Skyrim was built to be lived in. That's why, more than a decade later, it remains not just relevant, but legendary. And until more studios start embracing those same principles, Skyrim will continue to stand tall as one of the greatest open-world games ever made.